The 10th edition of the Amgen Tour of California getting underway with the Visit California stage based on Sacramento, the Californian state capital, and where better to start it than outside of Capitol House. The longest stage of the 8-day race on day one, Paul. 126 miles, 203 kilometers, all eyes on Mark Cavendish.
Mark Cavendish, the outstanding favourite for the opening stage. His team was there ready to line up alongside him as they listened to the national anthem before they rolled out for what was going to be a fairly flat stage.
A field of 140 riders heading out onto one big circuit before they came back for 3 very short circuits of the city. 4 riders quickly establishing some 8 miles into the race. Will Clark, Steve Fisher, Rob Britton and Robert Sweeting making the breakaway and gaining at one stage almost 7 minutes.
Yes, but Team Ethics Quick Step came very quickly to the front, despite the fact that Mark Renshaw, one of the important lead-out men for Mark Cavendish that we're looking at here, was involved in a nasty little accident. They really whipped up the pace once they picked up a cross-tail wind.
Joe Dombrowski, he would now be the certain leader of the Cannondale Garmin team after the elimination through retirement by Andrew Talansky just 100 kilometers into the day. Talansky complaining of respiratory problems.
As they got closer to the finish, though, Mark Cavendish in the middle of the screen, looking very confident, had his team whipped up all around him in organisation to pull it back down together. His major challenge, though, he was expecting to come from the Slovakian national champion, Peter Sagan, in the yellow helmet there with the red stripe.
Yes, between the two of them, the sprinters had won 16 stages of historic Amgen Tours of California. In the centre there, Tyler Farrar, an American rider on his new MTN Quebecer team. One by one, the breakaway were being swept up. The first man to be caught was Rob Britton. He was put back in his place, the winner of this year's Tour of Gila.
Yes, just 3 riders remaining at the front, and the gap starting to tumble from 2.5 minutes to 1.5 minutes. The 3 riders in the leading group continued to conquer their advantage, hoping to stay clear till the very end.
Crash on the way, Jonathan Fretter going off the road, his bike rolling even further than he did, and miraculously, totally unhurt, he picked himself up. His bike had to be sorted out, but he would rejoin the race. Also involved in the crash, but we didn't see it, was his teammate Jakob Rath. Into town, there were 2 survivors now of this leading group, Rob Britton and Will Clark, still up front, but the peloton snapping at the heels. They were going to go out on the 3 circuits of the city of Sacramento altogether.
Joined very quickly by Keel Reinen, the rider from United Healthcare, but on the way, Will Clark had picked himself up another time bonus, so 9 seconds time bonus garnered out on the course would have him high in the overall standings. Getting towards the finishing line, though, with just 1 kilometre to go, Ethics Quick Step, the team of Mark Cavendish, looked very much in control.
Tinkoff Saxo had tried to get in on the act in those lime green jerseys, but the big professional team, the most successful team last year coming from Belgium, Ethics Quick Step, were all set now to lead out their top sprinter. It was elbow to elbow and a very disorganized approach to the line as other teams tried to break in. But the control as they came up to the finish, and this is the bell this time, was now on the shoulders of Saxo. And in the 4th place, in a slightly different coloured jersey, Peter Sagan.
Mark Renshaw has become the great lead-out man for Mark Cavendish over the last few years. John Murphy lining up onto Mark Cavendish's wheel, but once the Manx missile fires, it's very, very rare for anybody to be able to come by him. He came across the line to get his 6th stage victory at the Amgen Tour and his 10th win of this year's season.
A fitting way to celebrate 10 years of the Amgen Tour of California, getting in just ahead of Peter Sagan. Jean-Pierre Drucker of Team BMC crossing the line in 3rd place. So the first yellow jersey would go onto the shoulders of Mark Cavendish. He was absolutely delighted and, as always, searching for his teammates to thank them for the effort.
It's always difficult to win when you've been the outstanding favourite, but this man knows exactly how to finish it off for his team, especially when they do it to perfection.
Another view of the Manx missile in full flight here. It looked an absolute formality, although he did say later it wasn't. It was quite a nervous race today, he thought, but in the end he made it very easily. This is the 3rd time he's won on this finishing line on his visits to Sacramento. Congratulations, Orion from Ethics. Breathed a sigh of relief. The first yellow jersey. He now leads this race by 1 second from the breakaway of the day, Will Clark, receiving his Yellow jersey there from the Vice President of Amgen, Michael Rothman.
But one of the most prolific winners on the international circuit, Mark Cavendish, not really nurturing hopes of winning the Amgen Tour of California at the end of an 8-day race, because there's a few nasty climbs in the way before they get to Los Angeles, and he doesn't appreciate them.
He is predicting at least 2 more stage wins before we finish this race in Pasadena, but he's got one now. Very fast race today. 126 miles, well inside 5 hours. Clark in second place overall, Peter Sagan in third place, Jempi Drucker in fourth, and Rob Britton holds fifth at the moment.